Into the Lab, where we break down the lacrosse stars of today and the coaches who have built them. This week, we're in New Brunswick, New Jersey at Rutgers University. Star attackman Colin Kurdyla, head coach Brian Brecht, and offensive coordinator Scott Bieda. Where Kurdyla came from, what he's learned here, and how it all shows up when it matters most.
Good to see you, Coach.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Miss you. No better time than now. You know, I say it all the time. It's not a good time to be at Rutgers. It's not a good time to be a player or an alum. It's a great time. I just think the camaraderie, energy is really high. The attitude, you know, you see it in practice every day with the effort, the drill work. It's just fun seeing those guys, you know, hanging out here in the Rockland Center, in our office, in the locker room.
It's always
No secret, the Big Ten is a gauntlet. The games are wars each week. As a captain and as a leader here, you know, certainly someone who, you know, bleeds scarlet. That energy that he has, that love of Rutgers and being around the guys every day is infectious.
This place is really special, and it kind of has a dirt road mentality, and that was why you and I chose this place. It's a big reason why I'm back, because I believe in the dirt road.
You're working with the final? Ready? Good. Back pedal. Use your back pedal. Use your back pedal. Good. Shuffle. Shuffle. Now stick it. Excellent. Great job, Dylan.
Taking chances, and when others say that you can, I always believe that you can, and I'm excited to be back and to do just that.
We go straight, punch, speed. Yeah.
That Rutgers is at a tipping point again, and you seem to be the guy that just kind of comes in at the right time.
I don't know about that.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about that.
You know what it took, and you're right here.
I appreciate that, and you know I love you, but when I was here at Rutgers, we had some incredible captains that were before us, and even better ones than when after I left.
You know, having Coach Bieda come back, the relationship they had, you know, growing up in Bridgewater, I think just the personality of both of them, you know, the way, you know, Scott, you know, coaches, you know, I think it's really brought out the best in Colin.
I've been really impressed. You know, I think Colin has just strengthened his game on the things that he's really good at. Over the summer, through Team USA, and really this fall, he's really attacked his weaknesses to a point where it's kind of, if you take this away, he can do that.
Of whistle, step, bring our stick on that second whistle, elevate and shot. And it's ultimately just kind of breaking it down. So it's easier when I do it full speed and in the game or even in practice.
Coach Bieda, can you show me that real quick? Yeah, the whistle step? Yeah.
Ready? First step. Second one.
Woo! Let's go. Love that.
They don't know if, to your point before, if you're posturing, are you actually going to feed that? Does the scout, and we talked about this before, is the scout saying that you're a feeder lefty
Versus righty,
consistently? And if you don't really know what he's going to do, well, the defense coverage-wise, what are now all six guys?
Right.
How am I going to be connected defensively if I don't actually know what that guy's going to do? I can't anticipate.
Right, and that's the dominoes part that we were talking about, right? Like you were kind of talking about that quarterback mode that he's kind of added. You know, he's kind of always had that running back mode where he's been able to beat people off the dribble with his speed and athleticism. But one thing I don't think he talked about that he's really added as well is like that fullback mode and adding all three, and his ability to make contact with people, and with his length and size, you add all three buckets in, and I think it just makes him really, really hard to cover.
Quarterback mode, fullback mode, running back. I understand what that means, but can you go into a little bit deeper? Where did that come from? How does a casual lacrosse fan that also might, you know, be into football and be into some other sports, how do they relate those three positions back to the lacrosse field?
Yeah, I was a quarterback. I maybe had, you know, a little bit of running back in me, but I was not that fast. You remember that. And so I had to find a way, how was I going to beat people off the dribble? For me, making contact, even though I was small, being low to the ground and that leverage from hip to hip is where I could win battles, of just being low. And so I started forgetting about good old school Big Ten, bash, you know, putting your shoulder down and being physical, battering ram. You kind of add all three, I think that's where the magic is made.
Colin, game on the line. Bobby Van Buren, Big Ten matchup, Will Schaller, Maryland, Ohio State.
Yep.
You got to get to the rack. Ball's on the end line. What are you doing?
So I think my go-to is I'm taking them down to the U or the R. We like to call that our post location. So as I'm carrying them down to this location, we always talk about using the back of the cage kind of as a seventh man on offense, or in essence a picker. So if it's a two-man game or if I'm solo one-on-one, I want to take you kind of thinking like I'm going towards X. Ultimately, have your eyes look to the back of the net, kind of drive you towards this location, see if I can really get you to commit and make you think that I'm going that way. But a lot of the times, ultimately, I can't.
Yeah.
Because obviously my head's up, I'm still probing, waiting for a double team, seeing really what the defense is going to give me. So I can kind of sit you here and then elevate and go right away, or I can really drive you in to get out. It's really either or. I'm really playing off of what the defender, one that's covering me, and the defense around him is giving me.
I think his ability to start to understand defenses, just the gravity that he's creating.
Good, keep playing. Back in here, Murph. Back in here, Murph. Back in here, Murph.
And how he can open up his teammates. Not only the slide, but the two slide now he's reading. That's where, I've been very impressed with just how much he's grown in that.
And I know making the transition, having Coach Bieda come here, I knew I was going to be playing attack. So I just really wanted to elevate my game, elevate my feeding, and ultimately be more of that quarterback on attack that could feed, distribute the guys while also still being a threat to score.
That's the most special part about Colin, is that he's not worried about who gets the credit. And I kind of come back to, he's a winner, and he wants to win. And he knows that if he's creating a lot of gravity on the ball and the ball is his stick, and if he can kick that to the other side and there's less numbers over there and that creates a little bit of confusion defensively, then he's going to do that.
They have no idea that he's about to shoot that, and then the ball's in the back of the net before they even start to react.
And I think my favorite part about it is defensively, it's hard to teach what you should do in that instance, because he's not really giving you anything to lift or check. He's kind of beating you with speed and deception right here.
So rewind that. This is what I noticed out of Colin that I really am excited for. And it's something that I think the best players who are elite quarterbacks do. That little pump fake into the drop, and then coming in and out of that, pumping up, dropping low, getting high, and then being able to burst. So the defense doesn't quite know when you're going to go into a burst, and you're kind of posturing, pump faking, which is keeping them at bay.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, out of that, you can drop and burst, or you can drop and hesitate.
I think his ability to keep you on your toes about both in both directions is really what kind of creates the confusion here on that.
I'm looking forward to the best version of 88 and Colin this year, with the individual time that Coach Bieda spent with him.
It's pretty crazy. You guys have a film room.
You guys are in the football facility.
We were in the football facility. Yeah, it was outside the locker room. There was this little area where we would sit down and coach would pop it up.
You and I are always talking about the nuances of the game. What's something you're doing with Colin, something you're doing with some of these other guys that's helped elevating their skill right now?
Yeah, I think just the idea of deep skill and really kind of breaking down a move, like you just saw with that question mark, into kind of 2 or 3 different parameters that are kind of micro habits to the actual skill that you're trying to build. And one that Colin's been exceptional at is the lever finish, turning the corner with both hands. Oh, you'll kind of see him put a ball in his armpit right here. And so that's just a way to kind of keep, like he was talking about, that front elbow pinched into the belly button, right? So that there's no air that a defenseman can lift, can grab, and it kind of already creates that back pocket mentality right away. And so he'll be up at the line, kind of at goal line extended. And again, you're just talking about micro habits and just kind of breaking down a skill and kind of mountain climbing it. On the first whistle, he's going to take kind of a 45-degree step to get the hip, and his shoulder will turn. And then on the second whistle, you're going to see him kind of release it.
The lever, that's what we're looking at for this season. 88's getting here, boom, come here, boy.
That thing fly.
You got to work on the things that are a little uncomfortable, that maybe you don't like. You probably don't like it because it's uncomfortable for you to do it.
The beauty lies in both.
Everyone loves doing the things that they're good at.
Don't make my life easier, make my shoulders broad, all right?
Basically, you create the problem as the coach, you create the independent thinker as the player, and then they have to self-organize their own thoughts based off of what's the problem, what are my affordances, and then that perception, actioning, and coupling of making my reads, then you make your own decisions. And then the best part is when you start to understand that, and then you can turn to your teammate and describe that, and you become the teacher in that.
He legitimately threw out a stick like this and caught in the back of his head. That's crazy.
Coaching is that beautiful dichotomy of both to me. That deep skill, kind of like discipline, leadership, but also not losing that ecological dynamics, that constraint learning, creating their own problem solvers, taking the coach kind of out of the situation and letting them kind of own it. I think both are needed.
Absolutely agree. I think it's critical. You can't have a successful player that is just really good at reads without having maybe some of the physical attributes or the skill set attributes, and vice versa. So I think you're spot on.
Exciting to see, every day in practice, sort of gel, and it is a journey, it is a process. We're, a couple weeks in to the preseason and starting the 2026 season now on the road.
All right, let's talk about us. What I'm probably most concerned of. Okay, I want you to write this down. Okay, culture is greater than strategy. Okay, it's about everything that we've been building towards since we've been together come September.
It's a chess game. Wanted to, maybe have a little guerrilla warfare instead of the traditional British, standing up 100 yards, paces, and firing.
Man up, let's go! Man up, let's go!
As a sophomore last year, he was the lead guy. He was the known, and that's a lot for a sophomore. And I think across the board, offensively, we had a lot of young guys playing, big minutes at a high level. It doesn't happen overnight. So I think a combination of the whole offense growing up, I think the combination of the experience that Colin's had last year, with that target and being marked as a known on the scouting reports on game day, I think he's grown up so much with his experience on the field here at Rutgers.
And you're driving up like that. As you go to load, I can't see you loading your hand, that top hand sliding down. And then the shot's almost getting off before I'm even aware that you're gonna shoot it.
Yep.
What would you call that in terms of triggering before anyone knows you're gonna trigger a shot?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that just comes down to being deceptive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's preloading his hands to show one thing on the windup, but the follow through is something completely different that you're not aware of.
That's special. You're gonna catch people off guard with that.
Hope so, that's the goal.
I really feel like over the years, Rutgers is just built now to where we kind of left it together to now going to the Final Four. And then just the type of people that are in this place, the commitment to excellence that I'm seeing from the young men in here. I've just been extremely impressed. We've come a long way in the last 10 years, and I'm honestly just honored and grateful to be a part of it.
Rutgers Lacrosse, I think about the growth of the program to where it is now with the Rodkin Center. We're 30 minutes from New York City. I obviously had an incredible time at Rutgers. I'm a proud Rutgers alumni. I talk about it all the time and just where I am all over the country. But the state of the program right now, why Rutgers Lacrosse, if you're a recruit, 2026, why is this the place people want to be?
Being in the Big Ten, the level of lacrosse in the Big Ten, it's a great time to, be here at Rutgers, on the field, off the field.
I do think the future of Rutgers Lacrosse is really bright. I do think that we have an awesome group of young men in the locker room, an awesome couple of recruiting classes coming in.
We're a national brand now from sea to sea, so with the sport of lacrosse growing so much, there are great players everywhere. So we need the best players nationally as well as in New Jersey to compete and chase championships.